Hey everyone, it's Charlie with Great Legal Marketing, and today we are going to talk about how to identify which leads are the best leads. Because yes, not every lead is made equal in your practice. But first, before we go any farther, I just want to congratulate Gold member Alfonso Gambone on the physical production of his book, 5 Ways to Fight and Win Your Pennsylvania DUI Case. I appreciate the boxing gloves down there, Alfonso. Keep up the great work. And of course, if you're a member of Great Legal Marketing, make sure you're sending us your materials. We love to have a look and to tell you congratulations as well. This is a huge bit of progress for Alfonso, and it's actually pertinent to the discussion that I want to have right here. And I'm going to leave Alfonso's book right up here because having a book like this is how you develop hot leads. So we have hot leads and we have cold leads, and of course somewhere in here are what we would often refer to as the warm leads. But what leads are best? How can you define a cold lead? How can you define a hot lead? Well, traditionally in business, a cold lead would be a lead that has no clue that you exist. You're reaching out to them, and maybe you're trying to force them to have a problem. A good example of this would be, of course, telemarketers. Telemarketers are often going after cold leads. They just have a list of phone numbers, and they're going to try and mine that list of phone numbers until someone buys one of their fancy little products, usually some type of pharmaceuticals, or maybe they're going to sell you some junk website that you're magically going to make $4,000 a week blogging on. So those would be cold leads for telemarketers. Most of the time, you're not really working with cold leads unless possibly if you're an estate planning attorney and you're reaching out to high net worth individuals, maybe who don't know your name already, and then you have to warm up the leads on the spectrum. So the good news is that most attorneys tend to start with leads that are just off of cold. And the reason they're just off of cold is because they have a problem. See, they've already identified that they have an issue, maybe a car accident, maybe thinking of filing for bankruptcy. They got pulled over for a traffic ticket, DUI, they were outright arrested for something. So most of our legal leads come to us with a problem which pushes them off of cold. We don't have to convince them as much that something needs to be done. Like a cold lead might be if you're selling a product to clean a kitchen and you first have to tell someone that their kitchen is dirtier than they think it is, even if it's a pristine kitchen. So we have leads that are already a little bit warmed up for us, and that's awesome. That's great. We love being able to work with warmed up leads. So now our challenge is to take a slightly warmed up lead and continue moving it down to the point where they become a hot lead for us. And now where someone is on this spectrum very much has to do with which leads are actually the best, because of course, I would rather take a lead that is all the way over here and then just push them into the actual, what we would call a buying decision, in this case, hiring you as the attorney, than take a lead who has only just identified that they have a problem and shove them through this entire system. Now, there are absolutely ways to do this. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of money hidden in here in this area for the attorneys that are willing to take the problem and move it all the way down to becoming a hot lead. But this whole progress right here is how you define which leads are best, because you should be trying to deal with these leads. These are the leads that you want to set appointments with, for example, whereas these might be the leads that you're just trying to get visit your website as they're doing research. So let's say someone has visited your website and is doing research, and that warms them up to, about the midway point for us. So they're a warm lead at this point. They've shown they're interested in their material. What we need here is an opportunity for them to self-identify, raise their hand and say, yes, I'm a lead, I want more information. This is where the book comes in. So Alfonso's book is available at his website, and if someone comes to his website and orders his book, that's going to push them farther along this lead train. So here's a really cool thing. When someone orders Alfonso's book, Alfonso hasn't had to go out to them and warm them up manually. He has this system in place for them to go ahead and get the book. So it takes Alfonso out of the equation and allows him to multiply his marketing by just focusing on getting people to his website to order the book. So someone orders the book and they have now become a hot lead. And one of the reasons I wanted the print book in here is because if someone orders a PDF, they're a warmish lead, they've shown interest, but someone who orders a hard copy, who gives up their mailing address or who calls in to request it, that's a hot lead. That is a lead waiting to be pushed over into that buying decision. So in Alfonso's practice, people who have ordered the book are his best leads. That is how it works. If someone has shown that level of interest, or another great way to tell that someone is a hot lead is they picked up the phone and they actually called you. That's a hot lead. Focusing on those leads, focusing on the people who actually call you and working your hardest to sell them, is a great use of your marketing time. If you improve something like the process, what happens when they call you, or what happens when they order the book from you, that's going to be a lot easier than spending all of your time over here just capturing people who have the problem. So if you perfect this, then you move back over here and you start creating content for all the people who do have problems. But if you're incapable of getting people on the phone or ordering your book, you're going to end up trying to, quote unquote, sell a lot of colder leads. You got to warm them up. So the best leads are always going to be defined by the people who interact with you the most, who follow the path you have defined for them, whether that's ordering a book or coming into your office or watching a webinar or a video series. The people who actually take those actions have committed themselves, maybe not financially, but mentally and emotionally to you by showing their willingness to interact with your content, with your firm specifically. So that is how you identify what the best leads are, by giving them a way to self-identify that they are a great lead. Okay, so you want to move leads from this problem area to hot. If you learn to do that and give people those opportunities to self-identify, it will make a huge impact in your practice's marketing. All right, so if you're interested in learning more about moving leads from cold to hot and how you can get more of the warmest leads, maybe from referral sources from other attorneys, then check out the URL below to learn more about test driving great legal marketing and getting information from us to help you supercharge the marketing in your practice.